April 2025 was a thrilling month for the UEFA Champions League. With Arsenal, Barcelona, Inter Milan, and Paris Saint-Germain advancing to the semi-finals. Arsenal showcased their dominance with a stunning 5-1 aggregate victory over Real Madrid, highlighted by Bukayo Saka's brilliant strike and Gabriel Martinelli's electrifying counterattack. Barcelona battled Borussia Dortmund fiercely, overcoming a hat-trick from Serhou Guirassy to win 5-3. Inter Milan edged past Bayern Munich 4-3, with Lautaro Martinez shining, while PSG narrowly defeated Aston Villa 5-4. The semi-finals promise excitement, featuring Arsenal against PSG and Barcelona facing Inter, with tactical battles and standout players like Guirassy setting the stage for unforgettable moments ahead. The UEFA Champions League is arguably the most prestigious and emotionally charged competition in club football. As the quarter-finals of the 2024-25 season wrapped up this week, football fans were treated to a cocktail of high drama, stunning goals, controversial moments, and tactical masterclasses. April 16, 2025, marked the end of the quarter-final stage, with 4 teams now confirmed for the semi-finals. The victors? Arsenal, Barcelona, Inter Milan, and Paris Saint-Germain, each advancing with a unique story of resilience, dominance, or sheer grit. Arsenal versus Real Madrid. Aggregate 5-1. Arsenal's journey to the semi-finals has been nothing short of remarkable. After a commanding 3-0 win at the Emirates in the first leg, they traveled to Madrid with confidence, and rightly so. The Gunners looked composed, structured, and surprisingly unfazed by the electric atmosphere at the Santiago Bernabeu. Bukayo Saka, one of Europe's most exciting wingers, gave Arsenal the lead in the 28th minute, after combining with Martin Ødegaard in a move that epitomized Mikel Arteta's vision of possession-based, quick-transition football. Real Madrid tried to mount a response, and when Vinicius Jr. leveled with a trademark curling effort from the edge of the box, the crowd briefly believed a comeback was on. But Arsenal never looked rattled. In stoppage time, Gabriel Martinelli raced through on a counterattack and slotted calmly past Courtois, dashing any lingering hopes of a Madrid miracle. Arsenal's 5-1 aggregate win over the 14-time European champions not only stamped their authority on this year's competition, but also sent a clear message. They are no longer dark horses, they're contenders. Barcelona versus Borussia Dortmund. Aggregate 5-3. Barcelona's clash with Borussia Dortmund had everything: goals, momentum swings, and a coaching masterclass from Hansi Flick. Barca cruised through the first leg at the Estadi Olympic, winning 4-0 with goals from Lewandowski, Yamal, Pedri, and Koundé. Dortmund entered the return leg needing a miracle, and for 75 minutes, it looked like they just might pull it off. Led by Serhou Guirassy, this season's surprise sensation, the German side scored 3 unanswered goals in front of the yellow wall. Guirassy completed a hat-trick, becoming the top scorer of the tournament and overtaking records held by Haaland and Lewandowski in the process. But in the 76th minute, disaster struck for Dortmund. Rami Bensebaini inadvertently deflected a cross into his own net, ending Dortmund's dreams. Barcelona progressed 5-3 on aggregate. For Flick, it was a personal milestone, leading the Blaugrana to their first Champions League semi-final in 6 years, a feat made sweeter by the post-Messi era doubts. Inter Milan versus Bayern Munich, aggregate 4-3. Perhaps the most closely contested tie of the quarterfinals was Inter Milan versus Bayern Munich. The first leg in Munich ended in a shocking 2-1 win for Inter, with Barella and Thuram scoring to cancel out Leroy Sané's opener. The return leg at the San Siro was electric, filled with end-to-end football and moments of sheer brilliance. Lautaro Martinez gave Inter the lead in the 12th minute, but Bayern responded quickly through Jamal Musiala, whose solo run and finish highlighted why he's one of Europe's brightest talents. The tie remained delicately poised until the 84th minute, when Benjamin Pavard scored a rare header from a corner, leveling the match at 2-2, but with the aggregate at 4-3, Inter held on during a tense final few minutes. Simone Inzaghi's men now head to the semis with confidence. The defensive solidity of Bastoni and Acerbi, combined with midfield balance and Martinez's lethal finishing, makes them a genuine threat. Paris Saint-Germain versus Aston Villa. Aggregate 5-4. This matchup was the fairy tale versus the superstars. Aston Villa, defying all expectations, entered the second leg trailing 3-2 on aggregate. At the Parc des Princes, Unai Emery's side nearly pulled off the shock of the season. Goals from John McGinn and Ollie Watkins saw Villa lead 2-0 after 35 minutes, temporarily flipping the tie in their favor. But the PSG comeback was swift and ruthless. Hakimi halved the deficit with a curling effort in the 42nd minute, and Nuno Mendes equalized moments after halftime. Villa struck again through Moussa Diaby, but it wasn't enough. Despite winning the second leg 3-2, the aggregate remained 5-4 in favor of PSG. This marks PSG's fourth semi-final appearance in 5 seasons. Though their domestic dominance is undisputed, their hunger for European silverware continues. Kylian Mbappé, despite being quiet in the quarterfinals, remains central to their hopes. The road ahead, semi-finals. The semi-final matchups are now set, promising even more high-stakes football. Arsenal versus Paris Saint-Germain. Arteta's organized, high-pressing unit versus PSG's flair-heavy, counter-attacking juggernaut. This tie pits discipline against chaos, youth against experience. Barcelona versus Inter Milan. A throwback to the classic 2010 semi-final, Flick's expansive possession game will be tested by Inzaghi's defensively compact, physically aggressive style. Both first legs are scheduled for April 29th and 30th, with return legs a week later. The final will take place at the Allianz Arena in Munich on May 31st, a fitting venue for what promises to be a clash of European titans. Tactical takeaways. Several tactical trends emerged from these quarter-final matchups. High pressing paid off for Arsenal and Inter, while PSG's verticality and ability to transition rapidly from defense to attack proved decisive. Barcelona, under Flick, have reimagined their identity, playing with width, high fullbacks, and aggressive midfield rotations. Real Madrid, on the other hand, showed signs of aging. Kroos and Modrić struggled to keep pace against younger, more energetic opponents. Defensive errors were costly. Marc Guéhi's own goal for Palace and Bensebaini's for Dortmund changed the trajectory of their teams. In a competition where margins are razor-thin, mental composure and positional discipline remain paramount. Player of the round, Serhou Guirassy. Despite Dortmund's exit, Serhou Guirassy was the standout performer. With 3 goals in the second leg and a record-breaking campaign under his belt, Europe's elite clubs are circling. He's been linked with Arsenal, Bayern, and even Manchester United. Conclusion: the UEFA Champions League never fails to deliver spectacle, and the 2025 quarterfinals were no exception. From Arsenal's dream run to Barcelona's resurgence and Inter's resilience to PSG's star power, the competition is heating up. As the Final Four prepare for the semi-finals, one thing is certain: only the best remain, and the path to Munich promises fireworks.